Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because we are finally heading out of this weekend after literally just trading sideways here for a couple of days. Now we can first check back in with this falling wedge pattern, which is still breaking out to the upside and is actively targeting about 100.5k in the Bitcoin price. And yes, so long as we do not invalidate this pattern by trading below the point of the breakout, Bitcoin is still simply just targeting roughly that 100k level in the Bitcoin price. Besides that, if we take a look at the RSI momentum indicator, this is actually still showing a bullish divergence in the charts, which has been playing out over the last couple of days. A bullish divergence is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator, and typically this points towards either some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on that 4-hour time frame. And of course, that bullish momentum is exactly what we have been seeing ever since confirming this bullish divergence at about 92,000 US dollars. One thing we should take into consideration is this big level of resistance sitting here from about 99k all the way up to 100k in the Bitcoin price, because as you can see by this green line right here, we do have some previous price action around these levels where we actually got rejected from this level multiple times, and even here recently as well. So therefore, again, this is why we have been seeing some resistance around this area here, around this 99k level. But the most bullish outlook here would be breaking this level of resistance early next week, potentially coming back down to retest this and flip it into support, and then resuming to the upside from there once again. So of course, I am hoping something like that will happen next week, but at the same time, I need to be objective and be on the lookout for a potential rejection from this area of resistance once again. So to illustrate my point here, let me just be extra clear. Let's say that we do get some kind of rejection from that 100k level. In that case, you will see me draw some kind of Fibonacci retracement and start looking towards these Fibonacci levels right here as some potential areas of short-term support. In terms of the Bitcoin CME gaps, the Bitcoin CME exchange has now actually opened. So yes, we have already filled this CME gap right here. However, do keep in mind that we still have this CME gap to the downside, sitting at about 93.2k, roughly speaking. So if you start seeing that rejection in the charts, potentially we could be coming down to fill this CME gap, but make sure to pay attention to those Fibonacci levels of support in the short term. Let's now take a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, at 100k, you can see that we have over $13 billion worth of liquidity sitting there. And in terms of more liquidity to the upside, we have another $10 billion sitting at 109k in the Bitcoin price. However, do keep in mind that we still have that liquidity to the downside, for example, sitting at 91k, and even a lot of liquidity sitting at about 90,000. But that's of course just the higher time frame stuff. Let's now actually zoom into this 2-week time frame, where you can see that we are very close to this big pocket of liquidity sitting as high as about 100k. However, from there is also a lot of liquidity to the downside sitting at 95.7k, and even a fair bit of liquidity sitting at about 97.3k. So in the short term, if you start seeing that pullback, look towards these areas as some first potential price targets for Bitcoin. So let's actually summarize what I've been talking about here. Basically, we have just been chopping sideways over the last couple of days, just below a critical level of resistance, thus making this a pretty difficult call to tell if we are going to get this next move to the upside or if we are actually rejecting from here. Look guys, we have been bearish on this whole way down here, flipping more bullish at the lows and having been bullish this entire way up. However, today, I want to say that this is actually a tough call and you need to play the charts based on what you're going to see early on next week here. Right now, as I'm seeing it, we aren't getting any clear momentum in the market coming out of this weekend. So therefore, we should be paying attention early next week to determine what we are going to see next. And of course, tomorrow, I am going to make a new update video where I can hopefully give you guys a better sense of what to expect next in the Bitcoin charts. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.